So welcome everybody. We would like to look into the effect of these higher activities of the self on the lower activities of the self. So we have discussed about the higher activities of the self in last sessions. And now we are trying to see that now that we are working with these higher activities of the self, then how will this reflect into the lower activities of the self? So whatever we have been able to see in block P1, that is the block of realization. Now we want to see how this will reflect on this block of block B2, which is the block of thought, block of imagination. So how will it show up in my imagination? How it will show up in my desire? How it will show up in my thought? How it will show up in my expectation? So that is the issue that we want to investigate. So we have given the title Higher Activities Guiding the Lower Activity. So B1 guiding B2. Realization, understanding and contemplation. Guiding, imaging, analyzing, comparing, collecting, testing. So this is what we want to understand. So this realization, understanding and contemplation guiding our desires, our thought, our expectation, guiding our whole imagination. And if you remember, this is what essentially we are trying to do in step 2 of exercise 1. That we want to understand the relationship, harmony and coexistence. And once we are understanding this in step 6b, now we are trying to make sure that all our imagination, all our desire, thought and expectations are in line with relationship, harmony and coexistence. And if I can do that, I can be in a state of harmony within, and therefore in a state of happiness within all the time. So that is what we finally intend for, to achieve a situation where these higher activities are activated, we are awakened to them, these activities in its fullness, and in the light of that higher activities of this self in B1, now we are guiding this lower activity, the imagination, the desire, thought and expectation, okay, every moment. So every moment my imagination is guided by the right understanding, by the realization of coexistence, by the understanding of harmony, by the contemplation of relationships. If that happens, then as we said in 6a, that it is the feeling of relationship, harmony and coexistence which is naturally acceptable to us. And therefore, if our imagination is guided by this, if we have the desire, the feeling for harmony, relationship and coexistence, and all our thought and expectation are aligned to that, then we will be in a state of harmony within, in a state of happiness within all the time. So this now we want to understand in some more detail, so that it is possible, number one, to align your lower activities as per the higher activities. And number two, to evaluate whether this is happening or not happening. So the idea of detailing is useful when I want to do these two things. Number one, line up this activity according to the higher activity and evaluating if then any lower activity is taking place, is it in line with the higher activity? So let us look at this. So three things. Imagination, when we are saying if imagination is guided by this higher activity, then imagination has these three things: the desire, the thought, the expectation. So the higher activity is guiding the desire, the imaging. This is one. Higher activity is guiding the thought, which means activity of analyzing and select and comparing. And third is higher activities guiding the expectation, the activities of selection and testing. So that three things we'll discuss one by one. So let us look at this higher activities guiding the desire, the imaging. If you remember this block B1 and B2, and there is a red small arrow which is connecting B1 to B2, right? So now that we have the clarity, understanding of coexistence, harmony, and relationship, this understanding will now start guiding the desire, the imaging of myself. That is, our desire is to live in accordance with coexistence, harmony, and relationship. This is the natural outcome. That if we have the understanding, the right understanding of coexistence, harmony, and relationship at the level of higher activities of realization, understanding, and contemplation, then this will become the guide for our desire, for our imaging. That is, our desire is to live in accordance with coexistence, harmony, and relationship. So this is what will happen once we are awakened to the higher activities. Once we have the right understanding about relationship, harmony, and coexistence. So this will be a natural outcome. So we have to keep checking whether this is happening or not happening. If it is happening, then it is fine. The understanding has taken place. If it is not happening, then we have to find out what is the reason. Is it that I'm not aware of my desire, thought, and expectation, and I'm not trying to evaluate them? Or is it that the very understanding has not taken place? So if understanding has taken place, the right understanding has taken place, if I become aware of block B1 and these activities are in place, higher activities are in place, then it will start guiding our desire. Desire for living in accordance with coexistence, harmony, and relationship. As an example, we are saying that when we understand human-human relationship, and when we identify the values in human-human relationship, then our desire is to live with those values in human-human relationship. This example I have taken because we have been working on this ever since we have started working on UHV, Universal Human Value. The first thing that touches us is the issue of relationship and the issue of feeling in relationship. And there also particularly the feeling of trust. When we are able to understand trust, even when we are able to get a feel of it, and we can see the difference between the intention and the competence, then it makes all the difference in our desire, right, to live with the value of trust. So this is one thing. This red arrow in that slide that you must have now can memorize by now. So that arrow indicating from contemplation to imaging is essentially showing that my desire is now guided by this contemplation, understanding, and realization of relationship, harmony, and coexistence. So this is about the higher activities guiding the desire, the imaging. Second is higher activities guiding the thought. So guiding the analyzing and comparing. So let's look at this. If you recall, when we are working, with ourselves, we can see that this imagination is going on in the self anyway. And this imagination is motivated by three possibilities: motivated by preconditioning, motivated by sensation, or motivated by my natural acceptance. Motivated by the self-verification done on the basis of natural acceptance. This we studied in ESB 1 and we have been working on it. Now, if we are working at the level of lower activities only, and we are not referring to this higher activity, and as we have been saying time and again that this asking your natural acceptance is essentially referring to the higher activity, the activity in block B1. So if you are not referring to the higher activities, then what is the basis of your thought? That we have to understand. And then we have to see that if we have these higher activities, right, going on in us, and if we start referring to it, then what will be the basis of my thought? So even when we don't have this right understanding of the whole thing, at least we are starting to refer to natural acceptance. Then also it makes a lot of difference. So intermediately we can ask that if we start referring to our natural acceptance, then what is going to be the basis of my thinking, basis of my thought, basis of my analyzing and comparing? So we have written down these three things, that if we are not referring to the higher activities, we are not referring to our natural acceptance, not referring to this contemplation of relationship and so on, then our basis of thought, basis of thinking, basis of analyzing and comparing turns out to be these three things. One basis is something which is appealing to senses. So if something is appealing to senses, we have liking for it, and on the basis of that we are thinking, on the basis of that we are analyzing, on the basis of that we are comparing. So for example, if I have to decide what to eat, what not to eat, right, I will decide for it, for my action, and that is thought, on the basis of whether this item that I'm thinking of eating, is it tasty or is it not tasty? Will it give me a favorable sensation? Will it not give me a favorable sensation? Will it be appealing to senses? Will it not be appealing to senses? So this is one basis. And now you can look back and see most of your thinking about what to eat and what not to eat is guided by this. So that is at the basis, appealing to senses. The other basis could be at conducive to health. Does it lead to good health or bad health? And third is whether it will lead to some profit, some acquiring of the physical facility or not. So these are the three possible bases for my thinking, for my thought, for my analyzing and comparing what to do, what not to do. So this you can look back, in your thought process and the content of thought, and from there you can see what is the basis for you at this point of time. So when you decide to go for a morning walk, right, this thinking is done on the basis of it being conducive to health. Conducive to health. Similarly, you want to study and you want to get a good job, right, so that you can get good money and good physical facility. This is with a view of profit, acquiring some physical facility. So these are three possible bases of my thought, my thinking, my analyzing, my comparing. If we are not referring to the higher activities, we are not awakened to the higher activities. So this is what is happening. And the problem with this is that if it is not guided by the higher activities, the coexistence, the harmony, the relationship, then it is likely to go, astray. It can lead to obsession. So three types of obsession can be resulted due to this: obsession for sensation or indulgence, obsession for sensation, obsession for indulgence, and obsession for accumulation, for profit. And today, if we look at our way of living, our way of life, all three of them have become very dominant. And majority of our problem in the society is caused because of these obsessions. So all kind of crimes are taking place because of obsession for sensation. All kind of problem of health today, this getting obese, having so many diseases, is related to this obsession for indulgence in the name of health. And of course, the obsession for profit, for accumulation of physical facility, is creating so much corruption, so much of exploitation, both of human being as well as nature. So all this is happening because our very basis of thinking, of deciding our action, is unguided by the higher activities. And because they are unguided, they are going mad, or they are likely to go mad. Now, if a few things we can study for sensation, for example, today when we are using sensation, are we using the sensation for getting continuity of happiness? If yes, then we are in trouble. So this basis of sensation, appealing to the senses, if that is the basis of my thought, my action, right, deciding of an action, then is it for getting continuity of happiness? If that is the case, we are going to get into trouble. So we have just recalled what we have discussed in ESB 1 itself, that if this is the case, then we are in trouble, because the happiness that you can get from sensation is going to be a very temporary one. It cannot be a source of continuous happiness. If you try to get continuous happiness through sensation, you are doomed to get into problem. So we had studied that any physical object coming in contact with the body gives rise to some sensation in the body, and these sensations can be of 5 types: sound, touch, form, and so on. These sensations are tested by the self. If test is favorable, we feel happy, but very temporarily. If the test is unfavorable, we feel unhappy. That also is very temporary. So we can only get some temporary happiness out of this sensation. In fact, it is not even temporary happiness, it is more like an excitement. The problem with this sensation and getting happiness from sensation is that if you work on it really and see, when you are engaging yourself in any test of sensation, then it passes through this whole process. Initially, it is tasty and necessary. Then it becomes it remains tasty, but it is unnecessary. After some time, it becomes even tasteless. And if you still continue, it becomes intolerable. So you will not continue, but if somebody forces you to continue, it will become intolerable. So you may be liking a particular type of sweet. So experiment with this. Have enough quantity of sweet, start eating. It is tasty and necessary. When your stomach is full, it is still tasty but unnecessary. When it is full up to the neck, you will lose the taste also. So now it is tasteless and unnecessary. And you want to stop. But if somebody forces you to eat, then it becomes intolerable. So any sense experience is going through this whole process. That we can verify for ourselves. So the important conclusion out of this is that sensation can be a source of temporary happiness, source of excitement only. It cannot be a source of continuous happiness, of harmony. So this is one thing that we have to study and see. So this appealing to senses cannot be the basis of thought. That is one thing. It cannot be the only basis. It can be a basis under the guidance that we will see. The other possibility with sensation is that I am using the sensation for health of the body and fulfillment of the purpose of the self. So this also we have studied in ESB 1, that it is not necessary that sensation is used for getting happiness, continuity of happiness only. The right utilization of the sensation will be to use it for ensuring the health of the body and for ensuring the purpose of the self. The role of sensation or right utilization of sensation is, number 1, to keep body in good health by nurturing and protection of the body. And second is to exchange right understanding and right feeling with other human beings. Right, which is basically related to the purpose of the self. So we can see that this is the right utilization or proper utilization of the sensation. So it is not that the sensation is bad, but it is to be rightly utilized. And when you have to rightly utilize, you have to have the guidance from the higher activities. It has to be utilized for the purpose of relationship, harmony, and coexistence. That is what we are saying, that unguided, basis of selection of sensation can create problems. But guided, basis of sensation can be rightly utilized. And interestingly, this sensation in animal is restrained by its very design, by its very nature. But when it comes to sensation in human being, right, we can make right utilization of sensation only with right understanding. So this guidance has to come from top, from the higher activities, from the right understanding. And if that guidance is not there, this sensation, may take us astray. So this is about the right utilization of the sensation. And similarly, we can talk about the right utilization of the body. Body, which is an instrument of the self. So the right utilization of the body is in terms of as an instrument for communication, for sharing with other human beings. As an instrument for labor to obtain necessary physical facility for the body. And as an instrument for continuity of human tradition, for ensuring new bodies, right? So that the human tradition can continue generation after generation. This is the right utilization of the body. This is indulgence with the body is not the right utilization of the body. So that second basis of conducive to health, which degenerates into obsession for indulgence, that can be balanced, can be guided, right, by the higher activities of the self. And if that happens, then it can be rightly utilized. So if higher activities are guiding this analyzing and comparing, guiding this thought, this thinking, then this is how it looks like. That now the basis of thought, thinking, basis of analyzing and comparing has become coexistence, harmony, and relationship. And now this is guiding our appealing to senses, our conducive to health, and our profit. So when this coexistence, harmony, and relationship was not clear, right, we were not awakened to these activities, and we had not seen this coexistence, harmony, and relationship as being there, then our basis for comparing, analyzing was unguided. Now, once we understand these things, the harmony, the relationship, the coexistence, then that becomes our guide for these three bases which was there before, is appealing to senses, conducive to health, and to the profit. So you can read through. Coexistence essentially means realization and authentication of coexistence, of submergence in space, of mutual fulfillment. Harmony essentially means ensuring the harmony, mutual enrichment in human nature relationship. Relationship predominantly has to do with living in relationship of mutual fulfillment, justice in human relationship. Now these are the basis for thought, for comparing, for analyzing, for thinking. So these are the main basis. Now we are working or doing any action primarily for our realization of coexistence, for ensuring harmony in the society, for ensuring fulfillment in relationship. That is the basis of our thought. That is the basis of deciding what action to do and what action not to do. That is the basis of comparing and analyzing. This is the main basis, and now this is guiding the other set, which was there before but unguided. So when this coexistence, harmony and relationship and living by this is guiding these three, now they seem to be falling in place. So I can read it. Appealing to senses is now helping us to identify the status of the body, status of the world outside, and its effects on the body. Right. So this basically can be rightly utilized, right, as we had just mentioned, by to keep the body in good health by nurturing and protection of the body, and it can be rightly utilized to exchange right understanding and right feeling. Right? So that will be the right utilization of the appealing to senses. So we are saying identification of right physical facility for the nurturing and protection of the body. Right. This is the usefulness of the senses now. So when I'm eating something now, I look at the taste of it, right, and then decide whether it is nurturing for the body or not nurturing for the body. So this same sensation is used for keeping the body in good health by nurturing it, protecting it. So for example, when you put something in your mouth and you find that, and you say that it is rotten, how do you, sense that it is rotten? By the sensation, right? And because it is rotten, it is not good for health. So that sensation is used for deciding whether it is going to be a source of health, source of nurturing and protection of the body or not. Similarly, when I'm saying something, I'm listening to something, I can check whether it is to ensure right understanding and right feeling or otherwise. So sensation can be used for those two purposes that we mentioned. Second one is conducive to health. So we can check whether, this with this higher activities guiding this lower activity, this criterion or basis of conducive to health will be used for ensuring the health of the body and the feeling of Sanyam, self-regulation in the self. And similarly, this profit will now be showing up in terms of identifying the need of physical facility and ensuring more than what is required, and therefore leading to the prosperity, feeling of prosperity. So we'll have the clarity about prosperity on the basis of this profit, this acquisition of physical facility. So this is how our basis of thought, our basis of comparing, our basis of analyzing will get modified in the light of higher activities of the self. So this will look like this. If you look at this slide, this circle marked, the basis of comparing is now becoming coexistence, harmony, relationship, guiding the senses, health and profit. So this is how it will look like. This is how it will show up. Some descriptions are given. I am not going into the details of this description. but I'll just read it out. Slides will be there. You can read through. Looking at the time available, I will not go into the details. You read through it. If there are questions, we'll take up. But this slide, I will read it through. With realization, understanding, and contemplation, the other three bases of comparing, appealing to senses, conducive to health and profit, get transformed as follows. One is role of sensation or right utilization of sensation, which we have already discussed. Second is right utilization of the body. So three implications we have seen. Third is role of physical facility or right utilization of physical facility. That basis of acquiring, basis of profit is rightly utilized for nurturing and protection of the body, for exchanging right understanding and right feeling that we have already mentioned, and other aspects of social systems. So many things are to be done in the social system, and for them we may need physical facility. So the right utilization of physical facility will be for ensuring the social systems as well. So there are two parts. One is physical facility used for ensuring health of the body by nurturing and protection. And second is used for ensuring the smooth running of the social system. Right. One example is ensuring right understanding, right feeling through education and sanskar. So this is how our basis for comparing, analyzing, basis for thought will get modified, will be guided by the basis that we have obtained now through higher activities. So this is the essence of what will happen, right, when higher activities are guiding the basis of thought, basis of analyzing and comparing. Then with this, we can now move on to these higher activities guiding the expectation, the selecting and testing. These three slides you can look through, and if there are questions, we'll take up, but they are very self-explanatory. They are in fact trying to visit and reformulate what we have already discussed about these three bases with understanding and then guiding the next three bases which were there before. And this is just the sum up of that. So with this, we'll come to higher activities guiding the expectation, the selecting and testing. Presently, our basis is the sensation. So at the level of expectation, at the level of selecting and testing, what is of concern is sensation. So most of the time, when we are selecting something, we are selecting it on the basis of whether it will give a favorable sensation or it will not give a favorable sensation. So if something is tasty, we want to eat. If something is not tasty, we don't want to eat, irregardless of whether it is good for health or not good for health. So as I was mentioning, most of these cases of obese, overweight is caused by this deciding things on the basis of sensation, what to eat, what not to eat. So if it is tasty, I will eat, even if it is not good for health of the body, even if the stomach is full. So sensation is assumed to be the source of happiness. And that is why we are trying to get sensation from outside, all the favorable sensation that can be had, even if it is at the cost of the health of the body. So unguided, under the influence of preconditioning and sensation, our basis for selection, for selecting and testing is the sensation. So without higher activities, this is where we are. With higher activities, when we realize that the source of happiness is right understanding in the self and right feeling in the self, right? So this is total, source of happiness. Right understanding in the self is the source of happiness, continuous happiness. Right feeling in the self is the source of happiness. And these are the two possible sources of continuous happiness. When we are talking about right feeling from the other, this is not for ensuring my continuity of happiness. It is rather for evaluating the state of the other self and to identify and fulfill complementarity in relationship. So this we have seen before, but we have just placed it again here for drawing certain important conclusions. And similarly, the sensation and physical facility which is accessed through the body. Now they are not the source of continuous happiness, but they are used for evaluating the state of physical facility to identify if it is okay for nurturing and protection of the body, and for using it as a means for behavior and work for sharing the knowledge, the feeling. So the basic source of happiness is right understanding in the self and right feeling in the self. And if I can see this, right, then my basis of selecting and testing is not only the sensation. It is not only the sensation. Right? Now there are two more bases. Two, or we can even equivalently say three bases. Right? So one is the basis of goal. So when I am selecting something, testing something, I don't only taste the sensation, but I also test whether it is going to be conducive to human goal, fulfillment of human goal at the level of individual, at the level of society. And similarly, I will also, check whether it is in accordance with the value in relationship. So these two things will now start guiding my selection and testing. So the goal, whether the human goal at the individual level and the social level, collective level is fulfilled or not through this, whether this value relates to the value in relationship or not. Over and above, whether this sensation is favorable or not. So if this becomes the basis, then of course, goal and value becomes the basis, then our senses also get self-restraint. And now on the basis of sensation, we are deciding whether it is good for nurturing, protection of the body and for sharing our feelings that we have already talked about in the last slide. This goal and value based criterion for selecting and testing can also be re-looked at as coexistence, harmony, and relationship based, which we have understood at the level of higher activities. So this goal based can be seen in terms of realization of coexistence, the self-awakening, and fulfillment of human goal through harmony in the nature. So this is how this goal-based can be seen in terms of ensuring, understanding, and living in coexistence and harmony. And this value-based can be seen in terms of the relationship. So now in the light of higher activities, in the light of right understanding, our basis for sensation, for selecting and testing the sensation, will not be only the sensation, but this coexistence, harmony, and relationship. So whenever I'm testing something, I will ask myself, is it in accordance with harmony, in accordance with coexistence, in accordance with sensation, in accordance with relationship. So will it lead to realization of coexistence? Will it lead to fulfillment of goal, human goal? Will it lead to ensuring values in relationship and its fulfillment? So this is how it will become. Right? So we can look into the details of it. Does it lead to the realization of coexistence in the self? That is awakening in the self. Harmony in the self, leading to happiness, peace, satisfaction, and bliss that we talked about, right? Based on comparing on the basis of coexistence. Similarly, does it lead to harmony with entire nature? That is participation in the larger order, leading to right understanding and resolution in the self and all those four human goals. Selecting on the basis of human values, the feeling, right? Based on this fulfillment of the values. So does it ensure the feeling, the values, which are basic in human relationship? Does it lead to fulfillment in our relationship with other human beings? Is our comparing, based on the basis of justice, relationship? And is it guiding this, selecting on the basis of sensation for identification of physical facility, that is nurturing for the body, protection of the body, and useful for sharing as a means for sharing? So this will become the basis of selection. So now not only this sensation which is basis, this goal, this value has become the basis. This realization of coexistence and ensuring harmony with nature has become the basis. Ensuring fulfillment in relationship through values has become the basis for my selecting and testing. So this is how it will look like. These are just the details of what we have already talked about. I'll just take one example of this to kind of exemplify, which will be helpful. That when you are selecting and testing is guided by this coexistence, harmony, and relationship, or guided by the goal and value. You take this example of a mother cooking for the family. Right? When she's cooking the food, she's of course taking care of the sensation. She's cooking a food which is tasty, which is favorable for the senses also. But she is not cooking the food only for creating a favorable sensation and getting happiness out of it. She is doing it as a part of the fulfillment of relationship with the family members, relationship with the child, to fulfill her feeling of care. And that is why when the mother cooks the food, right, she does not eat herself first. She will feed the child first, other family members, and then only she will eat. Now this is happening because this sensation, the basis of sensation, is guided by the value, by the feeling of care. If that feeling of care is not there, then this woman would like to eat first herself and then pay heed to other people. So that difference we can see. Right. Similarly, if you feel committed to your realization of coexistence, then you are willing to go through situations which may not be very favorable in terms of sensation. So that is selecting testing, which is based on my realization of coexistence. And that will now start guiding my selecting and testing on the basis of sensation. So with this example, I can just sum up saying that when you look at these higher activities and see its effect on the lower activities, what we see is that the higher level activities are doing these three things. They are observing the lower activities, they are evaluating the lower activities, and they are inspiring the lower activities. Presently, the situation is that we are working only at the lower activities, and we are not active at the level of higher activity, at the level of B1. Therefore, the activity at the lower level, lower activities of imagination, block B2, is unguided. And if it is unguided, it is creating all kind of problems, all kind of chaos at the individual level, at the level of family, at the level of society, the level of whole nature. And what is the solution? The solution is to awaken ourselves to the higher activities, and then these higher activities becoming the guide for these lower activities. If that happens, then all our state of being will be that of a state of happiness and continuous happiness, and our behavior, our work, and our participation in the larger order would result into a harmonious society, ensuring mutual happiness, mutual prosperity, and fulfillment of human goals. And that is what we intend, that is what we desire. At the individual level, this is what will happen, that if higher activities are awakened, and if that is guiding the lower activities, and that is deciding the further behavior, work, and participation in the larger order, this will be the picture which we will discuss in the next session, where we are trying to discuss as to what is the source of happiness now. With all that we have discussed in this module about the human being and about the activities of human being and so on. Now, what is the end result of it? What is the source of happiness now? And what was the source of happiness before? Right. So we'll look into that and make a comparative study, so that we can decide for ourselves what is going to be our source of happiness. So this slide we will discuss in the next session, right, as a discussion on source of happiness. So good. With this, I will stop my discussion on this topic. I'll welcome your questions. But before that, let me just recall some of the homework, some of the points for self-reflection. So 3 points. One is study your desire over a day and find out what percentage of it is coming from deconditioning, sensation, and natural acceptance. So this is an old, point for self-reflection. Okay. But every time you have gone deeper into yourself, this question will become more relevant, more authentic. Secondly, study your thought over a day and find out what percentage of it is based on coexistence, on harmony, on relationship, on sensation, and on preconditioning. Third is investigate your living. Investigate your living is centered around the activities of selecting, testing, analyzing, comparing, imaging, contemplation, determination, understanding, or authentication, realization. So now if you look at your living, okay, where is it centered around? For example, if it is centered around imaging and contemplation, then your focus will be on relationship. Right? and you will try to arrange everything in the light of this. If it is centered around the authentication and realization, then your focus will be realization of coexistence at the level of self. Everything else will be seen in the context of this. But if you are centered around the activity of selecting and testing, which most of us are today, then everything else will be used for the purpose of this selecting and testing. Right? That will be our main purpose. Right? We will try to work for getting favorable sensation from outside by all means. So I keep quoting this example that when you are making an air conditioner, however efficient it may be, right, and however much of research and thought you must have given to it, ultimately, what is the achievement? The achievement is a favorable sensation, a sensation of cold and not the sensation of hot. Right. So the focus is selecting and testing. You are analyzing, you are comparing, you are imaging, all is done for the purpose of, getting the favorable sensation, getting the, the selecting and testing, in your own way. So look at this. With this, I will stop and welcome your questions. Yes, welcome.